Samsung Galaxy S23 Ultra and Pixel 7 Pro. Let's talk about these two devices, and ultimately at the end, I'm going to tell you guys which one I would prefer. So without further delay, let's dive right in and take a look at the S23 Ultra and Pixel 7 Pro. Let's start off with design. Both of these devices, they're unique in their own way. And when you see a device like this, the S23 Ultra, you know it's an S23 Ultra. A design like this with the camera visor, you know it's a Pixel device. It's easy to tell these two apart because they both have a distinct visual style. So the Samsung Galaxy S23 Ultra, it comes with these sharp and flatter corners compared to its predecessor, while the Pixel 7 Pro, it has more of these rounded corners and this camera visor on the back. So it also does come down to preference, which one you prefer. They both feel good in the hand, but I just like Samsung Galaxy S23 Ultra and how it fits in my hand. Now, in terms of the size, if you notice, the Galaxy S23 Ultra is noticeably wider, and it is a little bit harder to hold in one hand, but for me, it's a little bit more comfortable as well. It's also the heavier phone too. Now, even though the design of the S23 Ultra, it's very, very similar to the S22 Ultra. Like I said, it's the flatter sides that make this change, less of a curve on the front of the display, and also the camera rings that make it distinct from its predecessor. Now, the Samsung Galaxy S23 Ultra, it also comes with the S Pen inside. For some people, this might just be the only reason why they pick up the S23 Ultra. And many of us, that's not just the only reason why we would pick it up. I use it once in a while, but it's not like the main reason why I would personally pick up the S23 Ultra. If that's you, then this is definitely going to be the phone for you. Now, both the Samsung Galaxy S23 Ultra and Pixel 7 Pro, they feature IP68 water and dust protection. So that's a good plus. Now, let's go to the front of the displays. In terms of what we look at, the part of the phone we spend with the most, the displays, they're both gorgeous. They're really good. And by the way, absolutely love this wallpaper pack. It's my latest wallpaper pack called Nebula. I'll be leaving a link in the description down below. As of this recording, Nebula wallpaper pack is my #1 top selling and top wallpaper pack that all of you have chosen on top of the other wallpaper packs I have made. So thank you all so much for the support. If you want to check it out, I'll be leaving a link in the description down below. Now, in terms of refresh rate, both of these, they use LTPO technology and they support dynamic refresh rate that can go up to 120 Hertz. As for biometrics, take a look at this. Both of them, they do have fingerprint sensors. One's optical, one is ultrasonic. Galaxy is ultrasonic. It's much quicker. And Pixel is optical, and it does take like 1 or 2 tries, but it's definitely better than its predecessor. And they also have face recognition, albeit it's not the same like Face ID technology we see in iPhones. It uses the front-facing camera, and it doesn't really work in low light conditions, so do keep that in mind. But overall, with design, there's a distinct visual difference between the two. It all comes down to preference, which one you prefer. Now, before the S23 Ultra came out, I was using the Pixel 7 Pro extensively. I love it. I love the design. I like the way that Pixel is going with the design. So keep it up, Google. Samsung, you know, if your design ain't broke, you don't need to fix it. So that's also a plus. Just make improvements in necessary departments, and I think they did with the flatter sides, less of a curve on the display, and hopefully next year it's completely flat. Good job, Samsung. Keep it up. I like this design. It overall comes down to you for preference. I like them both though. Now let's flip over to the software as well as the performance. Right off the bat, I can tell you they're really good. They're both really good. So the Galaxy S23 Ultra, it is the newer phone, so it also ships with the Qualcomm Snapdragon 8 Gen 2 made for Galaxy. The Pixel 7 Pro has their Google-made Tensor G2 chip. So this chip is primarily focused on having fast machine learning processing, powering unique Pixel features like accurate and fast voice-to-text transcription. Like, I've used it, and no other phone matches the voice to text transcription. Good job, Google. Now, in terms of software, we both have Android 13 on these devices. Samsung's latest One UI 5.1 is running on top of Android 13 on the Galaxy S23 Ultra. And I gotta say, Samsung, you're doing a really good job with software, with One UI. If those who remember using TouchWiz back in the day, it was just, for me at least, it was a love-hate relationship. Like, at times I liked it, at times I didn't. It would just feel too much bloatware, but One UI has become one of my favorite custom OEM Android skins by far. As for the Pixel 7 Pro, we're running pretty much a clean version of Android 13 with Material U, and Material U is present on the Galaxy S23 Ultra, but with Pixel 7 Pro, this is kind of Google's way of how they intend Android to be. So with software support, we're both getting some pretty decent software supports, although Galaxy S23 Ultra gets 4 years compared to 3 years on Pixel 7 Pro. But the thing is here, yes, you may be getting an extra year of software updates with the S23 Ultra, but with Pixel 7 Pro, you're getting them on day one. So as soon as Google releases Android 14 on day one, you're getting it on the Pixel 7 Pro, whereas Samsung, you're going to wait just a little bit. And I also give it to them too, because they've been really quick with Android 13 on their previous devices. They've been really good and on top of the software game. So I'm hoping Samsung continues that trend. Now, overall software and performance, day-to-day use, they're really good. Again, this really does come down to preference. For me, I'm gonna choose the S23 Ultra. Why? Because in my experience, I have not had the S23 Ultra heat up at all. The only time it got warm to the touch was when I was transferring everything over to my S23 Ultra. Other than that, you know, I'm a heavy phone user. I'm watching lots of YouTube videos, texting a lot, calling, playing Call of Duty, my main mobile game, as you guys all know, and it doesn't get warm to the touch. But Pixel 7 Pro, unfortunately, it does. And that's just something I noticed. And when it gets warm to the touch, I kind of get annoyed and I have to put the phone down. I just don't want to use it when it's warm to the touch. But S23 Ultra has been keeping its cool. So overall, again, if you want software updates on day one by sacrificing one extra year, 7 Pro is for you. If you're used to Samsung's custom OEM skin, One UI, and you want that extra year, you're going to use your phone for four years of software updates and you're getting 5 years of security updates, then S23 Ultra is going to be that device for you. This brings me over to the camera department. And if you notice the past couple of years, smartphone manufacturers, they've been focusing more and more on cameras on their smartphones. And for me, I mean, I'm not too picky with my cameras on my smartphones as long as it's good. Pixel 7 Pro was really good, and Galaxy S23 Ultra, I'm currently using it right now. It's really good. So they both get the job done for me. But if you're really looking and nitpicking the details, that's why we have this small segment. But coming back to the thing with smartphone manufacturers focusing more and more on cameras, it's something that I'm just not too interested in, just my personal opinion and my preference. If it gets the job done, it gets the job done. Samsung does have more features than the Pixel 7 Pro, so do keep that in mind. Now with S23 Ultra, we're getting a quad camera system, a 200 megapixel camera. Of course, when you first start off, it's pixel binning at 12 megapixels. You can change the mode to 50 and even 200 megapixels, but there is going to be a shutter lag. So if you're taking a photo with 200 megapixel quality, you probably want to make sure it's a still object or product or whatever it may be. Pixel 7 Pro still has a great triple camera setup, the wide, ultra wide, as well as the telephoto. Now, the telephoto, you're getting 100x zoom on S23 Ultra, and yeah, it gets it really far, but the thing I noticed is that it's actually usable. So if you want to read something from super far away or you want to get an image of something really far away, then 100x zoom really does come in clutch, especially in times that you need it. It doesn't happen all the time, but when it does, you're like, wow, this is actually really cool feature. Looking at screen, you're seeing some sample photos of both of the devices, S23 Ultra and Pixel 7 Pro. And I personally like the quality that I get with the Pixel 7 Pro. And I kind of wish that camera quality and the computational photography was present in the S23 Ultra, along with the extra features that the S23 Ultra provides. That would be a really good camera setup. But I think we've come to a point with camera photographies in smartphones to like a point where they're really good. None of them are going to, especially in the flagship category, they're not going to let you down either way. At this point, we're nitpicking about the small details that one does and one doesn't. Look, I'll be straightforward with you. Comparing these two, I like them both. It all depends on which one you like more. If you like more of the saturated photos, then you're going to choose one device over the other. For me, I like the day-to-day photos with the Pixel 7 Pro, but since the S23 Ultra has more versatility, I'd probably lean to that just because I have more options to do more things on my camera when I need it, like that 100x zoom. Again, comes down to preference. What I would recommend after you've taken a look at the sample photos on the screen is go to your local carrier store, go to your local Best Buy, check them out, try them out in person, maybe ask one of the representatives there their opinions on both devices and their cameras. But I can rest assured that they're both going to do a great job. That brings me to battery life with both of these devices. So these two, they both have a 5,000 milliamp hour battery, and 5,000 milliamp hour batteries become kind of like the norm with many flagship devices. Now, I think that's good. 5,000 milliamp hours is pretty good. It's a solid size. And unless there's a problem with like the processor, then they should last over a day. So Galaxy S23 Ultra, it supports charging speeds of up to 45 watts. And the Pixel 7 Pro supports 23 watts of charging speed. So yeah, it's definitely much slower. Now, both of these, they also support wireless charging and reverse wireless charging. I mean, I don't really use reverse wireless charging, and I use wireless charging here and there, but not too much. So I'm not too, stuck on those two. Now, Galaxy S23 Ultra, I gotta tell you, now that I've used it intensively, I've had enough time to use the battery, the phone itself is able to kind of follow how I use my phone day to day and use the battery accordingly, optimize it accordingly. Look, Galaxy S23 Ultra, it easily beats out the Pixel 7 Pro. And I'm going to put up a screenshot right now. Literally at this point, it was crazy. Like at this point, when I took this screenshot, 10 hours plus of screen on time. It was, I really forced myself to use the phone a lot that day, push it to its limits, how long it would last. And yes, I woke up at 6 Friday morning and I took the screenshot at 1 a.m. on Saturday. But up until that point, I used it intensively, 10 hours. I will not be getting that with the Pixel 7 Pro. It sits at around 6 hours at most of screen on time. Like Galaxy S23 Ultra, it's easily a 2-day phone for me if I don't use it like I did with 10 hours. If I try to break it down, or if I'm on a road trip and I don't have my charger, I know I can rely on the S23 Ultra. It's the optimization. It's just, good job, Samsung. Seriously, good job. If you guys want to see like a separate dedicated video about the battery life of the S23 Ultra, going more into detail, charging speeds, and how I actually use it during my day, let me know in the comments down below. But battery for me is one of the biggest things when it comes to smartphones. I don't like charging my phone, and there are some days where I'm not near a charger the entire day and I need to rely on my phone to have some juice throughout the entire day. I don't want to carry a portable charger unless I'm going like on a trip or vacation, whatever it may be. Just on a day-to-day use, I don't want to carry a portable charger, and I don't want to carry just a normal wall adapter with me. I want to make sure my phone has enough battery to get me and last me throughout the day. S23 Ultra is a 2-day phone for me. Pixel 7 Pro, I have to charge it every single day, so do keep that in mind. Now, I'm a heavy user. what happens if I'm a light user? If you're a light user, then both will last you. Like Pixel 7 Pro will last you 2 days. That means S23 Ultra will last you even longer. So ultimately it comes down to how much you use the phone, but seriously, S23 Ultra beats out Pixel 7 Pro in the battery department. I like to talk about pricing with both of these devices because pricing in general is an important factor when we're picking up a new smartphone. So $900 for the base model of the Pixel 7 Pro and $1,200 for the S23 Ultra. And do keep in mind, 8 gigs of RAM and 256 gigs of storage for the S23 Ultra base model, 12 gigs of RAM, but 128 gigs of storage for the Pixel 7 Pro. So you're getting less storage with Pixel 7 Pro, but more RAM when compared to the S23 base model. I pre-ordered mine during the pre-order period, so I was able to pick up the 12 gig RAM and 512 gig storage model at no extra cost. I don't believe you can do that right now unless Samsung puts in another really good sale. And if they do, I will be leaving links in the description down below, so be sure to check them out. But I'm adding myself into this. When I take a look at phones, I do look at the pricing. What is the pricing? If it's a good price, I'm getting good user experience, I will probably recommend it. And Samsung this year, I feel like they focus more on the user experience because overall, like we're getting a design similar to the S22 Ultra, and I think that's fine. I think that's a good thing. We don't need a drastic design change every year, but they made improvements in the right departments. Better software optimization. It doesn't get warm to the touch. The battery life is really good. The camera has a pretty good improvement, and that makes my day-to-day life so much easier and smoother and just overall better. Now Pixel 7 Pro, it does all of that really good. I love Material You. I just love how this is Google's way of showcasing Android. I love just the simplicity, the minimalism of how this UI looks on Pixel 7 Pro. The software is really good too, and I'm getting Android updates on day one with Pixel 7 Pro. Camera is really good, but battery is just a little bit of a letdown when compared to the S23 Ultra battery champ, in my opinion. Ultimately, it all comes down to the user, and look, they're both expensive devices, $900 and $1,200. But you gotta ask yourself, am I willing to pay an extra $300 for better battery life and potentially just higher megapixel resolution and overall good user experience? Then you're gonna go with S23 Ultra. If not, Pixel 7 Pro is going to be your choice. My final thoughts about both of these devices, I love them both. Like I love the S23 Ultra, I love the Pixel 7 Pro, and I love all the other devices that are coming out with different manufacturers. And before the S23 Ultra was even in the picture, I used the Pixel 7 Pro exclusively as my main device. As soon it was announced back in October of 2022, I feel like I'm saying that it happened like a long time ago. But when it was first released, I put in my SIM card right away. This was my main device. However, here's what I'm going to say. My determining factor when taking a look at these two devices and which one I'm going to have my main SIM card in is the battery life. If the Galaxy S23 Ultra didn't have the great battery life it has, I'd probably test it and put my SIM card back in the Pixel 7 Pro. But it's been great. Like, I really don't need to charge it. I don't need to worry about it. It's good. I seriously try it out. I know I keep talking about battery life, but I feel like it just keeps getting better over time. And that's one thing. I just don't want to keep worrying about, oh no, my phone is at 40% and I still have 4 hours left in the day or 5 hours left in the day. Is it going to last me? I got to put this in charge. When I put it in charge, I'm not going to sit next to it. If someone calls me, I missed a call. I don't want to worry about that stuff. Galaxy S23 Ultra is the choice for me. Now, that being said, that's my personal preference. Again, I've used this before and it got me throughout up until this point. So I still would recommend both, just my personal preference. This is the device I'm keeping in my pocket for now. Pixel, Google, if you ever do come across this video, I love your devices. I really hope the optimization with the battery life on Pixel 8 Pro is even better and it competes directly with the S23 Ultra. I'd like to see that. Anyway, that's been it for me. I hope you guys did enjoy this video. If you did, be sure to Superman that like button, comment down below, and best of all, share this video because it really does help out the channel a lot and will help push my content out to more people. That's been it for me, and I'll catch you guys in the next episode.